Except for myself.
All right, you ready? As soon as you say start streaming.
You give me a finger? Okay.
Sorry to keep you waiting, everybody. Complicated business.
Welcome, folks. Welcome from the ground team here at the American Firearms Coalition. We are live tonight in Indianapolis. It is raining here faster than the NRA can betray our gun rights on red flags. We had to move our whole video set tonight indoors. Wanted to be outside. Wanted you guys to see this phenomenal banner we have here behind us. This is one, and I mean one, of the tools we're going to be employing tomorrow here in Indianapolis, all around the region here, downtown, by Lucas Oil Stadium, by the convention center. We're going to be everywhere doing all we can to expose the NRA's repeated betrayal of gun owners, especially when it comes to red flag gun laws. You guys can't see it. The sign says, if you see these guys, ask them why they are selling you out on red flag gun seizures. And it's got one of our websites there, stopredflags.com. And you know who we are, guys. Aaron Dorr here. I'm with Iowa Gun Owners. I work a lot in Missouri and Wyoming. We got Ben Dorr, who is posting right now like a Mad Hatter on a bunch of our Facebook pages.
Hopefully on mine,
Hopefully on mine. I'm talking for him, so he has to post on mine first. Minnesota Gun Rights. We got Chris Dorr here, my brother, with Ohio Gun Owners, and Patrick Parsons, as always, with Georgia Gun Owners. So, guys, this is it. We've been discussing this for a couple months. You guys have been pushing us for weeks to show up here in Indy and make sure that Wayne LaPierre and Chris Cox know that enough is enough. We're sick to death of your betrayals. We're sick of your fat cat lifetime golden parachute employment contracts, all while our gun rights are becoming a dumpster fire when we should be on offense now more than ever. So that's our open here, guys. I think Ben is getting videos posted right now to a bunch of our pages. If you guys want to help us get a watch party set up, that'd be great. We are having some tech problems because no one is in our home offices tonight. So if you want to host a watch party for us, I see several of my friends right now who are hosting them for us. So keep those coming. We'd sure appreciate that. But that's what we've got for my open here, guys. But we're ready to go, guys. Tomorrow is going to be crazy, and we haven't been able to tell you guys much. And there's a reason for it, because what we have in mind for tomorrow is going to it's going to shock the world, is what it's going to do, and we can't talk about it until we're doing it. And there's lots of reasons for it, because we have a big audience tomorrow. We don't want to screw anything up, but I mean, we're ready to go, and we need you guys to help us out. But Chris, people have been asking me on Facebook all day, like, how has it come to this where we have to protest the NRA of all people for screwing us over? And I'm not sure we have a definitive answer, but when you're in the swamp, as long as these guys are, and you're getting paid millions and millions and millions, and that's only what we know about publicly. Now we all know there's all the backroom deals with their marketing firm. Maybe it's the swamp, maybe it's the paychecks, maybe it's the good life, but however we got here, something's got to change.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, what I will say, though, is this is the first time we've all been together to kind of do one of these shows in person. There's several other more people here in this room right now who are very integral to everything that we do. Is that a word?
Integral, yeah.
They're integrated into everything we do here at all these different groups, but it's just a good time to come together. But, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people. We have friends that are inside the NRA convention right now who are reporting to us that they're already, even amongst the exhibitor crowd, inside that building, there's a lot of people who are super pissed. A lot of people who've been given a lot of money to the NRA for many, many decades, and the word is around. There's a lot of people who are at this meeting this week to try to clean house if they can.
Yeah.
So one thing we want to encourage everybody, and we've heard reports that there are several people who are going to do it. They won't allow us in the rooms. But when Wayne LaPierre gets up there to give his speech, you guys all need to start chanting. Everybody who's in that room, start chanting, "Stop red flags. Stop red flags." It has to happen because this is the destruction of gun rights.
Yeah, guys, in case you don't know who those people are, that would be Wayne LaPierre right there. And I can tell you, and there That's Chris Cox.
Chris
That's
Cox.
the guy who stood up there. Chris Cox, they call him. That's the guy who stood up there and said, on behalf of the 5.4 million members of the NRA, we call on Congress to pass extreme risk protection orders so we can end this culture of violence. Total hogwash. Absolute hogwash. And I can promise you, the screenshots have already been taken of this video. They're already being sent to Wayne. They're already being sent
Pepe Le Pew.
to Chris Cox. Yes, $6 million, $60 million, Wayne. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. But, guys, that's what's happening. That's what we're doing here today. And like we said, we knew they were selling us out long before all of these scandals broke. I mean, who knew? Who knew that Wayne LaPierre had these backroom $40 million deals going with Ackerman McQueen with all these kickbacks? We didn't know about that stuff. All we knew was when it comes to gun rights and policy, they sell us down the river every time. The bump stock ban, fix NICS, and now red flag gun seizures just in the last 24 months? Just the last 24 months, and now we find out, well, full-blown swamp. That's how people who go to D.C. go from making $100,000 a year to being worth $50 million, $60 million. A lot of these people, and Wayne LaPierre, he's no different.
So we're going to already get some of the comments, and I'm not surprised to see this. We got Landon Veith
Hater
in Iowa, and he's like, great job dividing us and demonizing the NRA. So we're just going to say this today. We say it every time we do a broadcast.
Yeah.
And you know what? We're going to end up saying this until I think we're all dead and done with gun politics. You know, we didn't start this fight, Landon.
Right.
We aren't the ones who told Congress to pass red flag gun seizures, which, in case you don't know, Landon, takes away your firearms before you've been arrested, before you've been indicted, and before you've been convicted of anything. Okay? We're not the ones who told Congress, who told Trump to ban bump stocks. We're not the ones who told Congress to pass Dianne Feinstein's Fix NICS bill. So you're right, there is a division in the gun rights community, and it's about time. Because these betrayals, 3 of them in less than 15 months, I mean, maybe you give one of them a mulligan. I mean, maybe you can get a mulligan for effing up once.
Maybe.
But not for a national gun rights organization. But you do Fix NICS, you do bump stocks, and you do all this stuff. This is ridiculous.
There was a bunch of gun owners.
And I got to say one last thing, because Landon says, I'm not a hater, I'm a member. So that might have been extreme sarcasm. And bro, if that's the case, I'm sorry. But we have plenty of haters who are watching right now. And for all of you who are asking, well, why is this happening? How come we have these people who are out there talking smack about the NRA? Again, we didn't start this. We didn't do this. Bump stocks is on them. And you know what I found amazing, guys, was once Trump had the ATF reclassify bump stocks, then immediately the NRA was like, well, we never said to do it without remuneration. We didn't say that we shouldn't have that we shouldn't be able to have compensation for these bump stocks. This is terrible, and they began to attack the NRA for attack the feds for what they were doing. And this is insanity. They want to have their cake and they want to eat it too. That's all this is. And so, anyway, but again, my bad to my friend Landon there.
Well, but so I had a bunch of gun owners reach out after the last Second Amendment Daily show we did, because there's always a few people who hop on here and talk about the divide. You're dividing. And these people, they said, look, we know that the divide has been totally caused by the NRA. The NRA, Wayne LaPierre, Chris Cox, they are dividing the gun rights community from those who are no compromise, from those who understand that rights and freedoms like this are literally worth dying for. It's what our founding fathers did. They fought, they won a nation, they died for us. And it's Wayne LaPierre and Chris Cox, those people right there. They are the ones who have totally divided the gun rights community nationwide. If they were not willing to give an inch on gun rights, if they weren't willing to give away anything at all, they'd be our best friends. They'd be our best friends. They'd be gun owners' best friends, and we would be fighting with the NRA, not being forced to come here on behalf of the Second Amendment, on behalf of our membership, and expose the NRA. So I think those members are absolutely right. That it's Wayne LaPierre who's dividing the gun rights community, not us.
I think
certainly not.
What gun owners expected when they elected Trump in 2016 and kicked Hillary Clinton to the curb, and
Speak louder.
sorry, what gun owners expected was offense for the last 2 years. They didn't get it, and a big reason as a result of that, a lot of Republicans lost to, they're gun. No, they're not pro-gun people. You know what I'm saying? They got kicked to the curb because they didn't push for pro-Second Amendment legislation. And I think gun owners are pissed. I mean, gun owners are absolutely pissed that there is not offense, and we're having to play defense. And the NRA, we know. Remember, I worked on Capitol Hill, Washington, D.C., in and around Capitol Hill for 5 years. Lindsey Graham is pushing red flag gun seizures, guys. Lindsey Graham from South Carolina. He has an A rating from the NRA, an A rating. They have refused to downgrade him, okay? That can only mean one thing. They are working behind the scenes to pass red flag gun seizures in Washington, D.C. Again, we didn't pick this fight. We are simply representing gun owners at the grassroots level who are sick of the NRA selling us out and us having to fight these battles because they are not fighting red flag gun seizures. In fact, they are trying to write that bill on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., and every gun owner in this country should know that.
And if you just spend, it's not just the four of us who are saying this.
Right.
If you spend about 18 seconds on any one of the NRA's Facebook status, their marketing programs especially. I got some screenshots when I was driving here today. I was the passenger, rather, as I was trolling on my phone. And I got some screenshots. Just read some of his comments, guys. I mean, these are cut and paste right from the NRA's Facebook page about a hard push for membership, and it says, nope, stop being a member a while back, too much compromise. This is a guy named Kevin, says, not going to join unless you start to actually work to protect the Second Amendment instead of filling your pockets with my money. This guy, I'm a member of USCCA. Y'all lost me years ago with Carry Guard. Here's another one. Why would I join an outfit that supports red flag legislation that is unconstitutional and denies citizens due process of law? You won't get another dime. This dude's got 41 likes on his post. I mean, here's a Jerry Carlson says, not that Jerry Carlson, a different Jerry Carlson, says, life member, I'm stuck with him. Here's a guy, Chris says, check your comment section, NRA. Maybe you'll learn something.
No kidding.
When you start to fight for the Second Amendment, then I'll consider joining, says Glenn Britland. Donald Turner, you're negotiating my rights away. Brandon Clayton, get rid of the NFA, stop supporting red flags, and push for national reciprocity, and then maybe you'll be an organization worth joining. NRA these days is nothing but a giant FUD convention. LMAO.
Georgia Carey.
And one or two more here. NRA dropped the ball on bump stocks, and you lost me for life. Here's a guy who says, why would I give money to the NRA who has a track record of selling out my Second Amendment rights? No thanks. Proud ex-member of the NRA. It's just, I could go on for 20 minutes like this with comment after comment. So, it's not, this is not just a Facebook war. We're on the verge of getting our asses handed to us in Washington, D.C.
And all these problems could not be coming to fruition at a worse time for gun owners. It's we who are going to get the shaft on this entire thing. But I got to ask the question to everybody who's very critical of what we're trying to do and what we're going to do tomorrow and on Saturday.
Yeah, if you think you're critical and mad now, brother.
Some of you might be a little bit upset after tomorrow, but what would you have us do? What would you have the NRA do? Do you want the NRA to correct their course? Because so far, there have been a lot of attempts to get the NRA to change course, and they haven't been successful. And those have been largely been attempts from the inside to try to revise the board. But it has come to this, and we cannot afford to let them continue down this path anymore without a course correction. So it has to happen at some point. We cannot any longer sit on the sidelines. We're forced into this position.
Organizations, as far as I'm concerned, organizations are no different than legislators. How do you make a legislator vote the right way? Vote the way you want them to work? How do you get them to do something they don't want to do? Grassroots pressure from mobilized, angry voters, gun owners. That's what we do for a living, is pressure anti-gun lawmakers into not stabbing gun owners in the back. How do you think we're going to make, if the NRA is ever going to turn around, how do you think that's ever going to happen? With all of us sitting here going, well, I don't want to say anything bad about them. Maybe someday they'll come around. Maybe if Wayne LaPierre's getting paid $40 million instead of $30 million, well, maybe then he'll be a patriot and care. Absolutely not. Actually, a guy named Chuck sent me a message the other day, and he said, here's how I see it. He goes, imagine this. Who's the bigger enemy here? The enemy that's beating on the gates, or the friend who marches down there, lifts out the bar, and pulls the gate wide open? You can fight enemies on the other side. But when your friends are opening the gate wide open and letting your enemies march on in, you're doomed. You're doomed. And that is why what Wayne LaPierre and Chris Cox are doing right now is one of the greatest, it's probably the greatest danger to our Second Amendment rights, because gun owners, they line right up and they go, screw you, Dianne Feinstein. Over my dead body, you won't take my guns. That's what happens when radical anti-gunners attack the Second Amendment. The greater danger comes from people who pretend to be our friends, but are really total enemies. Total enemies.
The enemy inside the gates. Isn't that what it was? Cicero or somebody said that?
Yeah, it's just wild. It's just wild. And that's why we're so excited about tomorrow and the next day. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. We drove in under absolutely downpouring rain, and actually a guy commented here on the Minnesota Gun Rights page, and he said, why don't you, there's an NRA meeting in, I think he said, Lakeville, Minnesota tomorrow. Why don't you guys come and debate it? Well, I probably would, but I live only 20 minutes away from there, but unfortunately, we're in Indianapolis right now. We can see Wayne LaPierre crying out in the parking lot right now, okay? So maybe another time, but tomorrow is going to be fantastic. I think the next time we go live, you're going to see some crazy stuff.
Hey, y'all, I'm getting up our nationwide email, just went nationwide, guys. New memberships, and people are chipping in to support our efforts here in Indianapolis to stop red flag gun seizures. Join American Firearm Coalition. Join AFC.org. JoinAFC.org. You can check out our website if you don't know much about us, AmericanFirearmsCoalition.org. You can also go to StopRedFlags.com to sign the petition to the President of the United States. 100,000 petitions is what we're trying to get. We also have an open letter to the President at VetoRedFlags.com. This is not what we're doing this weekend. The only reason we're inside, guys, is because it's pouring down rain outside. We're going to broadcast live in front of the convention center tonight, guys. But tomorrow we will be live. This banner is going to be all over the place in a lot of different places in a bunch of different ways. And there's going to be even more grassroots guerrilla warfare, so to speak, happening at the convention center, guys. You're going to want to join us then. But to keep our efforts going, look, this isn't about the members of the NRA. This isn't about gun owners who like the NRA, have been members for 50 years. This is about the grassroots rising up, locking arms, sitting together, screaming together, letting our legislators know, and letting the NRA know, and letting President Trump know that we must stop red flags. This isn't free, what we're doing tomorrow. Actually, it's very expensive. We can only credit ourselves. We've given a lot of money personally, as well as the members of the American Firearms Coalition. So if you want to join, go to joinafc.com, joinafc.com. I know a lot of y'all are doing it right now. You're leaving the video. Come back, but joinafc.org. Joinafc.org and join right now, guys. So that's what I got to say.
Jeff Patton says, Chris, I like your shirt.
Nice.
I do too. Thank you very much.
Says, never apologize for being a patriot. And we never do. We just never do.
I want to answer a couple more questions. We have some good comments and some more of these folks that need to be, smashed across the nose of the rolled-up newspaper like I do with my pets. Stephen Turner, and it always happens.
He lies. He doesn't even have any pets.
Well, if I had a pet.
If you had a pet.
And it always happens in the watch parties, because on watch parties, you have new people all the time who haven't heard from us before, and so we have to deal with this more aggressively in a watch party.
Yeah.
Stephen Turner says, question, what is the amount of money your organization spends to support pro two-way candidates across the country? What is the amount of money you can charge to be a member? And do you remember when the NRA with Charlton Heston saved the Second Amendment back in the Brady days? So Stephen,
Oh my God.
Stephen Turner, this bud's for you, man. You need to learn how to use
Google.
You need to learn to Google. Charlton Heston, and look, you can shoot the messenger all you want, but Charlton Heston was all over the news the minute he got in charge. He was going to bring the NRA into the modern era, and he immediately said, nobody has a need for an AK-47, which was the AR-15 of the day. He immediately came out there to attack certain types of the more high-end self-defense firearms. And you say he saved us in the Brady days. Stephen, the NRA freaking wrote Brady. The NRA negotiated the entire thing.
Wake up.
What are you talking
Wake
about?
up!
What are you talking about? As far as how much you've given to Pro 2A candidates, well, we're about 2 weeks old. I mean, literally, we're a couple months, 4 or 5 months old. We're brand new. We've never hidden any of that. But my question, and so we're going to do that. But my question to you is, are you asking the NRA what the hell they're getting for their endorsements, for their money, when we have Lindsey freaking Graham, who has an A, right? A-,
yep.
from the NRA, holding the hearings and sponsoring red flag gun seizures?
Quite frankly, dude, you should be ashamed of yourself because you're not turning the eye of scrutiny on the very people who are causing or forcing us to be here to take these actions right now.
Right.
Shame on you.
Yeah.
Shame on you. That's terrible. It's a terrible thing for you to say. It's a terrible position for you to believe in.
You swallowed a pill. You swallowed a pill. And that's the thing here. Rachel just asked, she goes, where on earth is all the NRA money going? Well, that's
Exactly.
what's happening right now. That's
Nobody
what's coming
knows.
to light.
Nobody knows.
They have so mismanaged NRA funds, and this story is breaking nationwide. They have so mismanaged the NRA money, donor dollars from gun owners, that they're talking about possible criminal charges. Criminal charges.
Well, it's so bad that their largest vendor, Ackerman McQueen, gets about $40 million a year, which, depending upon the year, that could be 40% of their gross receipts based on recent years' gross revenues. 40% of their gross receipts, give or take, and they have no idea where the money is going, to the point that, as you saw, guys, they just had to sue their own vendor to figure out where the flip all of our money is going. And that only happened because their risk department has come out and said, we are on the verge of getting just creamed by the New York AG's office and their risk department. This is kind of a rough paraphrase, because basically, look, to the directors of the NRA, is like, look, basically, your refusal to do your job and direct the organization does not leave you immune from the responsibility of it. And you are potentially facing criminal charges for your inactions and refusal to direct the organization that you are a director of. And it kind of makes sense, since a whole bunch of their board are celebrities, actors, musicians. Look, we all love an Uncle Ted. I mean, I like to watch Blue Bloods with my wife. Who doesn't like Tom Selleck? But let's be honest, these people aren't calling day-to-day operational shots. And it's gotten so bad now that these people are on the verge of, or at least have severe exposure to, criminal charges. So, again, before you come out here and wag your tongue at us, Stephen, or anybody else who wants to run their mouth like that, you better point that finger back at the ones who've been betraying you for the last all this freaking time.
Well, I'm convinced that a lot of people like Stephen, and there's only a few left.
Yeah.
There's only a few
that
left.
number is falling.
You'll wake up in a couple years and go, oh my gosh, everybody left the NRA. All the gun owners knew something I didn't know, and that was that their principles mattered more than a 50-cent Chinese ball cap that said NRA on it. And that's the truth. Rachel says their ads are just spouting conservative talking points, thinking we're dumb enough to just arp, 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 and clap like trained seals.
She nailed it.
I mean, you ever watch those videos from Dana Lush, oh, they will perish in the flames of their own political fires as we block. What are you talking about? You've given away everything. You've given away everything. But you know what? That's what $40 million to Ackerman McQueen buys you. The best talking points. Well, the NRA, Wayne LaPierre, Chris Cox are no different than politicians who think that gun owners are just stupid. They think you're dumber than a box of rocks. They think you're going to come on down here in your camouflage cap and you're going to whip out your checkbook and stroke them a $3,000 check for another benefactor membership, and you're too stupid to see what they're doing. Well, that has always been the downfall of worthless politicians, and it's the downfall of worthless organizations full of elitist punks like $6 million Wayne just padding their pockets. And gun owners by the hundreds of thousands have figured it out. And more, well, I think a few more are going to figure it out tomorrow too.
Well, that's why instead of seeing any kind of a statement from Wayne, any kind of a statement that, hey, you know what, we did not do our job with oversight as well as we should have. We're going to take care of some stuff. We're going to make some changes, and we're going to redouble our efforts. No, all we see today is a national email saying, oh my God, Andrew Cuomo is coming for us. Give money, give money, give money, give money, give money. There's zero acceptance of responsibility. Nobody is saying anything like, you know what, guys, you're right. We screwed up. We did not do our job. Instead, it's, oh my gosh, we're under attack. Send money, send money, send money. Guys, I can't download this troll screenshots. If somebody has this screenshot of this troll,
I'll try to download.
mine
Well,
is
that's
like,
the thing. Actually, just the other day, USCCA, one of their employees.
this is perfect.
One of their employees the other day, we talked about this on the Minnesota Gun Rights page, just the other day, USCCA, everybody knows who they are. One of their employees sent out a message in response to a gun owner and basically said USCCA has no problem with red flag gun seizures. They have no problem. There's no big deal. It's no big deal. Well, that started spreading through the gun rights community like wildfire, and instantly, Tim Schmidt, founder, CEO, came right out, shot a sincere video, and he said, look, and he read his own employee's message out. He goes, it kills me to even read those words. USCCA never has and never will support red flags. I take full responsibility. I am so sorry. And in fact, USCCA is right now revamping all of our policies to cover red flag gun seizures, just in case your firearms are seized that way. That's fantastic. That is what a leader does who either made a mistake or had an employee make a mistake. He instantly turned course, corrected course, fixed it, and it's done. It's a done deal.
I'll ask you this: Do you believe him 100%? Because I can almost guarantee you. Or is USCCA going to be here?
No.
Okay.
They're not allowed.
So they're not allowed.
Because of carry guard, man.
Carry guard.
NRA booted them out.
NRA kicked
So
him
that's
out.
what I was thinking, that this guy was about to face off with a bunch of gun owners at the convention, and he was trying to get ahead of it. But if you're right, you're right. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and hey, but if something else happens, we will of course tell you.
Absolutely.
But this is a years-long process now of Wayne LaPierre and Chris Cox, these two doofuses, supporting red flags and pushing this stuff down our throats. And that is the difference between leadership and just a worthless, pocket-patting loser named Wayne LaPierre.
Well, the fact of the matter is, his season has come and gone. He's been in this job since 1991. And we talk about this all the time with the state groups that we run. We talk about how we exist explicitly to represent our membership to the political class, to war on behalf of our members all the time. And somewhere along the way, Wayne LaPierre lost his way. And he no longer represents his members, the members of the NRA, to the political class. He's not bringing the weight of his membership to bear on Lindsey Graham right now. Instead, he's doing his level best to make the NRA represent the political class back to their membership and telling them this is what we need to settle for. And it has been a policy of appeasement with this guy for far too long. That's what we're seeing. You don't see like Dana Lush. What was that phrase you just said just a minute ago?
Oh, they're going to perish in the flames of their own political fires.
Where are the flames?
Where's the fire
right now for Lindsey Graham? They're non-existent.
Or Marco Rubio.
Other than the NRA dumpster fire.
Yeah. It's a dumpster fire of their own making. And folks, this gives us no pleasure to do this. It's just kind of like disciplining your kid. You can't let your kid steal grapes from the from the grocery store over and over without disciplining them, telling them that's wrong. You can't let them sit in church and just sit there and scream their heads off. You got to take corrective action. That's what's going to happen here tomorrow. This is only one prop that we're going to be using tomorrow.
We need your help. I mean, we need your help. And again, you're going to see it tomorrow. Look, here's the deal. By tomorrow morning at, early, we'll be able to give you guys much more information. I can promise you that. I'm not sure exactly what time, but early. You're going to have a lot more information.
Especially if you're in Central Time.
But we need your help to fund these operations. It's joinafc.org is the website to go to and join the American Firearms Coalition. The full website is americanfirearmscoalition.org. You can go right there as well. But the easy one is joinafc.org. And we're going to read off all the new member names here in a little bit. So I want to make sure we have some time for that. But I'm reading some of the comments, and I want to kind of go back to a couple of these. Got a couple of good guys here. Let's see here. Kip Polling in Missouri is talking with Steven, the guy who we've been smacking, saying, slow down, I want to hear them out. I want to hear them out. And he's saying, he says, lifetime member starting to revoke tomorrow. He says, I want to revoke the NRA, but why should I believe you guys that you will not cave in when you guys begin to bring in the money? And that's a question that we get asked a lot. It's a very fair question. It's a very fair question.
And the easiest way to answer that is, if we do, walk away.
Yeah,
you owe it to your kids and your grandkids to leave and go find somebody else who will carry on this mission. Don't have just pure loyalty to us as people. Walk away. Your kids, your posterity demands it.
Yes. That's answer number one. And answer number two, as is always is the case, is just go and check out all the work that we're already doing with all the state groups that we're already involved in, whether it's Missouri or Iowa or Georgia, Ohio, Minnesota, Wyoming. I mean, you can go on and on and on. We're in the front lines in state capitals all the freaking time, leading these charges at the state level, and we're going to use that same experience, that same drive to try to stop these insane laws in Washington, D.C. And so I think Kip. He's like a lot of gun owners right now. It's like, yeah, I know this is hard to take, but something's wrong. And if you can feel that in your gut, folks, you're not wrong. There's something wrong. And so he says, Stephen, slow down. So Stephen then comes back, and I love you, Stephen, man, but he's good material. He's one of those guys that you hope he gets on and he comments early and often. Because Stephen says, you're just wrong. I live in, wait for it, Florida. And the NRA carried Florida for Bush, and they brought home for Trump in 2016, and DeSantis just last year. All you're trying to do is divide and conquer. Stephen, your state got gut screwed last year. You got red flags. You got a waiting period. You got
they raised the age up to 21.
The age limit. You got screwed.
And who helped?
The NRA was all over this.
Hammer the Scammers gave the approval. And all those Republicans, NRA A-rated Republicans, are the ones who passed it.
You're going to sit there
Wake up.
And be proud of what happened in Florida? I mean, this is insanity. And let's be honest, Trump carried Florida.
Yes.
Trump carried Florida. NRA didn't carry Florida. Trump carried Florida.
That's the truth.
So, you can say we're wrong all you want, but your state has become a dumpster fire. Not saying it's your fault, but don't forget, bro, it was 67 A-rated Republicans in Tallahassee that voted for the red flag gun seizure bill. Have you seen Hammer the Scammer, Marion Hammer, who supposedly runs Florida? Have you seen her come out there and kick anybody's butt?
No.
I haven't.
If we had 68 Republicans, 68 A-rated legislators, and any one of our state legislators do something like this, You would. I can't even tell you what you would see us doing daily in their districts to out these people with teams of volunteers. The money that we would spend, it would be your money. If you're a member of our organization or our organizations, we would go after these people. You've seen it over and over and over and over before. What do we have? Hammer the Scammer? Wait, she gets paid how much? What was that again? How much she get paid?
Over 50%.
$310,000.
$310,000 a year to sit down in Florida and do absolutely nothing but give cover to lawmakers. And quite frankly, the reason part of this has been sold is because, for a long time, the NRA, again, paying $40 million to this cushy little company who they are like incestuously involved in. Well, they got some big media platforms, and they can spout their propaganda all they want about how great they are, but people know the truth. People know the truth about this stuff. It's spreading like wildfire. You can watch the videos of Wayne LaPierre from the 90s through now, supporting universal gun registration, universal background checks, gun-free school zones that are getting our kids killed.
You want to list them off, Ben? I've got them all memorized.
Let him do it.
I got it memorized. So just in the last 18 months, the NRA, red flags, bump stock ban, fix NICS. 2007, NICS expansion. 99, Wayne LaPierre testifying before Congress in favor of gun-free school zones. 97, 98, 96, whatever the crap it was, Lautenberg gun ban. 94, Brady check. 86, Hughes Amendment, machine gun ban, right? And much, much more. 68, gun control, National Gun Control Act. And then the 1930s, you can go back and read the American Rifleman from the 60s or whenever the crap they put it out back in the 30s. They bragged about writing the gun control legislation for FDR. The only guy to serve, more than 2 terms? I mean, the guy was our own little mini dictator. I mean, look into history, guys. These guys, for 90 years, have been dabbling in the gun control stew that cooks in the swamp in Washington, D.C., and we are sick of it. They picked this fight, and it is time that someone stands for you, and that is the American Firearms Coalition, and we're seeing that right now, guys. New members are pouring in all the time. Y'all are pouring in tonight. JoinAFC.org, joinAFC.org. Today, y'all have been pouring in. Anybody want to read some of those new members? You want to see those, Aaron?
Sure.
See any of these guys?
Yeah, we've got, Dwayne from, looks like Cynthia, Kentucky, just joined up the American Firearms Coalition at joinafc.org. I have to take this phone call, guys, right now. So you guys keep on going without me. Sorry.
Well, my computer is the one that's being used to run this thing right now, so I cannot read anything off because I don't have access to it.
All right, let me read them. All right, here's some new members tonight, guys, and throughout the day. We've got Dwayne in Cynthiana, Kentucky. Thank you, Dwayne. Appreciate it. He's the newest member of the American Firearms Coalition. Robert in Odell, Illinois.
Nice.
Odell, Illinois. Probably not too far from here. Max in Somerset, Ohio is a new member. What's up, my man? We've got Umar. That's my Georgia man. Riverdale, Georgia. There's Umar.
Georgia in the house.
Michael in Amherst, Massachusetts. That is straight up in the belly of the beast right there, guys. So those are your fellow Americans from all over the country joining up, and that's just in the last few minutes, guys. I see some more people have rolled in throughout the day. The great Ricky Israel from Ohio. Randall from Maine, Somerset, Maine, is in. Marie in Lee's Summit, Missouri. Thomas in New Britain, Connecticut. So all over the country, guys. David in Champlain, Minnesota.
Nice.
John in Cincinnati, Ohio. Timothy in Schuylerville, New York. So if you are not yet a member of the American Firearms Coalition, join today at joinafc.org. Joinafc.org. There's Bob that just came in from Springfield, Minnesota. Thank you, Bob, for hopping on board, guys. Look, the battle is at the gates. And in fact, the gate is almost breached, okay? You open up the floodgates, and it's all downhill from there. We've heard about the slippery slope narrative, guys. It is all downhill from there. And what one of our mottos is, our main motto here at the American Firearms Coalition is never compromise. Okay, the NRA I've just laid out for you. It's compromise, compromise, compromise. Why do they do it? They're doing it to save their political stature in the swamp. That is the difference. The NRA is swamped down. They live in the swamp. They're married to members of the swamp. They're married to people on Capitol Hill. They live in their $6 million Wayne out in McLean, Virginia. The American Firearms Coalition is grassroots up. We came from you, okay? We didn't come from stuffy, smoke-filled Capitol Hill offices like Pepe Le Pew Lapierre and Chris Coxix, okay? So if you are looking for a group who will fight for you, which is what we're doing here, yes, the NRA is the big bad dog on the street, but we are fighting with everything that we have, and with you backing us up, it is a big league fight. So if you want to join in at joinafc.org, become a member tonight. Help us complete this Expose the NRA program. The more members we can get, the more resources we can gain, the bigger the program is going to be. And guys, tomorrow it's going to be big. Just wait. It's going to be big, 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 big. So join up tonight at the AmericanFirearmsCoalition.org.
Yeah,
join AFC.org.
Travis says, I just dumped all of my NRA memorabilia in the burning barrel today and joined AFC.
Send us a video.
Yeah, send the video.
I mean, that's and that I want to answer the question that Chris answered one more time. You know, how do we know that you guys won't, do X, Y, and Z? Here's the deal. It's pretty easy, right? Gun owners for a long time, when the NRA used to be really powerful, gun owners had to sit there and go, how much compromise can I take? I don't like that they did this. I kind of like that they did that. I don't like this. I kind of like that. And everybody has to kind of decide how much compromise and how much freedom they're willing to just willingly hand over. With AFC, if Chris ever shoots a video and says, guys, the American Firearms Coalition knows that we need to pass, extreme risk protection orders or some other kind of gun control, then yes, you just walk away. It's so easy because we just don't compromise. And now there's other organizations who claim to be no compromise, but you actually have to be in the fight. I mean, just this session in Minnesota, we had the Senate Majority Leader was begging, literally begging, almost on his hands and knees, saying, please, Minnesota gun rights, please, 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 back us up. We want to pass gun control. And please give us your blessing. And, there's a lot of pressure in moments like that. There's 5 staffers. He's the Senate Majority Leader, powerful man.
And most powerful Republican in Minnesota.
Yeah, the most powerful. And we just said, absolutely hell no. Now, it unleashed a war. It's been a war ever since to stop this gun control. Mm-hmm. But this is what we're willing to do with the American Firearms Coalition. When these legislators, when these organizations, when these politicians come to us, and they will, and they'll say, hey, please, give us an endorsement, please. I know I only voted for a bump stock ban. I only voted for, fixed NICS. No, the answer is hell no. We don't compromise ever. We never ever do. So for me, that makes it very, very easy to decide, what I'm willing to give up. I'll join an organization that's no compromise. If they compromise, I'll walk away. That's how that works. I don't know. That's pretty cut and dry to me.
Well, let's go over the weekend, guys. What's the schedule this weekend? Somebody want to fill us in? Looks like Aaron's pretty busy. Aaron, you have kind of the weekend schedule, or Chris?
One thing I want to say before we get into the schedule is be watching your phones tomorrow morning. My guess is sometime around 8 o'clock, maybe even before that. Be watching your phones, and if you're not getting notified when we go live on the American Firearms Coalition's Facebook page, that's where we're going to be going live from. So if you guys are watching right now on Ohio Gun Owners or one of the state-based groups, make sure you go over to the American Firearms Coalition's Facebook page and sign up to get notifications from over there. Am I correct in this?
Yeah, they better be watching tomorrow Eastern time. I'd say no later than 7:15.
Yeah, 7:15 a.m. Eastern time, because this is Indiana. Be watching for that. Well, of course, the moment we go live on the American Firearms Coalition, we'll be doing watch parties across all the different state groups as well. But be watching for that. Keep your eye on your phone tomorrow morning or your computer. If you
but the
don't let your boss catch you.
Yeah, exactly. The schedule tomorrow. President Trump is supposed to be in town, right? We've got to get his attention. We're doing everything that we possibly can, and that's a part of our Expose the NRA program tomorrow. He's getting bad advice from Pepe Le Pew and Chris Coxix. And so that's a part of what we're doing here, guys. We are trying to get the president's attention.
I think we need to say it again because we had a discussion.
I would like to make a note. We'll talk about that in just a second. The bad advice section.
Yeah, I think we should, now's okay, or what is it?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, that's the thing here. It's not we're not just fighting this. Did I cut him off?
No, it's all right.
Did I cut you off again?
Kind of offended. I'm offended.
He cuts me off all the time.
Snowflake.
Cuts me off all the time. I mean, we're not just trying to stop red flags. I was talking to a supporter today, the American Firearms Coalition, who sat down and donated a major contribution earlier today to help us get down here today. And I told him we're not just trying to stop red flags and expose the NRA. This is serious in terms of trying to protect President Trump, because this is a guy who is working 23 and a half hours a day fighting 100,000 different fights at any one time, and he trusts that the biggest stakeholder in these respective issue clusters gives him the right advice.
Exactly.
And so he trusts that when Wayne or Chris or their fair-haired boys come to the Capitol and advise him that they're getting the right advice. And he's not. And so I was telling this donor today, I was like, if President Trump thinks that this is going to be, he can sign this into law, and it's going to be okay because the NRA said so. First, you have the bump stock issue, which is a small number, but a vocal number of gun owners are pissed about. You add in a red flag gun seizure law from a Republican president, it's going to hurt him.
Yeah.
And the last thing we need is Joe Biden in the White House again. The last thing we need is crazy Kamala Harris or whatever. And so, as much as it is about protecting our gun rights, it's about letting make sure President Trump knows that this is not just bad policy; it's bad politics, and it's going to hurt you.
I mean, I've had a lot of gun owners tell me, I'm not voting for Donald Trump after Fix Nix and after the bump stock ban. I mean, people are already saying it. And red flags is far, far, far worse, I think, than either one of those two things. And look, when you're Wayne LaPierre raking in at least $6 million a year, but now maybe far more with these kickbacks and the possibly illegal stuff that's been happening, what does he care about President Trump?
Right. What
does he care? If Joe Biden gets back into office,
Wayne
LaPierre gets to stand up there and go, "Oh my God, we lost President Trump! Send us money, thousands!
Donate.
Give us your farm when you die. Give us, if you got something, give us everything. We've got to fight against Joe Biden or Cory Booker, Kamala Harris. Oh my gosh,
Bernie Sanders.
What does Wayne LaPierre care? If Donald Trump loses, Wayne makes more money.
It's a financial windfall for them. But
sure.
But to put this in perspective, we all know that the blue wall is what elected Donald Trump in 2016. Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, and Wisconsin. And I know a lot of gun owners in Ohio. I'm knowing a lot now in Pennsylvania. We know a lot collectively in Wisconsin and Michigan. What's going to happen? I mean, you cannot peel off large, significant quantities of votes in those states and still win them for the Electoral College vote. That is a huge problem here. And like Ben just said, if a Democrat gets into office, Wayne LaPierre, and this guy, he just looks totally like an absolute wimpy beta. Doesn't he look like a beta? I'm so sad that his name is Chris. Because Chris is the best name in the world. That guy is a beta loser. Beta.
He does have a nice suit on, though.
Of course he does.
Tie.
Of course he does. It's bought by you.
Yeah, he's one of those guys who went to college to learn how to be a professional lobbyist.
Yeah.
So he can make a fortune. That's how a lot of these people... Wayne LaPierre was a Democrat staffer for a long time. A Democrat! I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Never held a real job.
Yeah, these people didn't get involved in this because they love guns or because they love freedom or because the right of self-defense is worth fighting for. We did. I mean, ask my brothers. They drugged me into this years ago. I didn't want to, but I knew I had to. Those who are just aching to get involved in politics, those whose lifelong dream is to be a lobbyist or a politician, they're the people who should not be lobbyists and politicians because they have a rotten soul. And you know what? I guess it only costs a few million to buy these guys out. It's disgusting. It's really terrible. It's shameful. And it's made far worse because we talk to gun owners. I've never been a member of the NRA. But we talk to a lot of gun owners who have given sometimes tens of thousands of dollars to the NRA. And some of these people they're literally heartbroken. A big part of their life was their support for an organization that they thought was fighting for their kids and their grandkids' ability to be free and to carry firearms. And that heartbreak is what drives us right here to fight so hard to stop red flag gun seizures, to out these guys who are just getting filthy rich off of gun owners' dollars. And that's why we're here in Indianapolis for this convention. That's why we're fighting on behalf of our members and supporters. So join us. Join us. Go to joinafc.org. Become a member today.
Well, here's what's going to happen tomorrow. So you got the president, the NRA leadership meeting and forum is from 11 to 4 in the Lucas Oil Stadium where the Colts, Peyton Manning used to play, right? So the president's going to speak, 12, maybe 12, probably midday. You're going to see it on national TV. He's going to be throwing the red meat out there. I'm sure he'll throw a bone to Wayne and all these. It's just what he does. Everybody knows the president. But there's going to be people lining up out there for a long, long time in the morning. That's a great opportunity to educate these people on dangerous red flags. And that's going to be a part of our program, guys. We're not going to give away what's happening. But, it's 11 to 4 tomorrow. And then they have a big black tie gala, right? A big event where all the board members are come up in their tuxedos and all this stuff. I mean, the hotel where these guys are staying, look, I'm a capitalist, you know what I'm saying, guys? But this place is a monster. Glass encased, blue glass encased building downtown. And then Saturday there's more stuff going on. But tomorrow is the big day, and you're going to see a lot of our activities tomorrow. And I just want to say thank you to all the new members that have been coming on board tonight. We've got Tom from Parma, Ohio.
There we go.
Chicken Parma, Ohio. We've got Heather from Wellsville, Ohio. Bill from Crookston, Minnesota. JoinAFC.org. Jason in Garvin, Minnesota coming up big. Travis in Blue Earth, Minnesota. That's weird.
Nice.
Jesse in Lodi, California. The
nice.
Californians are here.
Nice.
What's up, Jesse? Appreciate you, buddy. Newest member of AFC. Matt Sallow in Champlin, Minnesota. Is it Champlin or Champlain? Champlin. House Springs, Missouri. Scott. And then Bob at Springfield, Minnesota. JoinAFC.org. JoinAFC.org. Join
Minnesota
tonight, guys.
rolling hard. I love it.
Look, we've got a lot of operations going tomorrow. It's not free. Okay, it is absolutely not free. And I will ask you, if you're not yet a member, go to JoinAFC.org. You can also go to our website at AmericanFirearmsCoalition.org. Check us out. You can read all of our bios sitting right here. You know exactly who we are. You can send us a message on Facebook right now, and we will answer you just as soon as we can. But look, like I said earlier, we are a bottom-up organization. That's where we came from. That's probably where we will always stay. We represent the people 100%, and what we know is that we would not be sitting here were it not for these two guys, Pepe Le Pew Lapierre and Chris Cox, pushing their insider deals in Washington, D.C., and the deal at the gates, breaching the gates right now, is dangerous red flag gun seizure. So if you want to support our efforts, go to joinafc.org and join up today, joinafc.org, guys. Get on board.
I'm getting kind of some administrative questions. Patty, a great supporter out of Iowa, said, I joined up right away. Am I going to get a membership card? Yes. Not 100% sure on timing. We're trying to focus our resources on a lot of more startup things right now.
That will likely deploy this coming Friday, not tomorrow, but the week.
The membership
after.
cards.
Yeah.
So they're in
Nice.
process. Somebody else asked right here, do you guys have stickers? Do we have one here at all in the room right now?
I didn't
We
bring
got
any.
20,000 of them in the office. We got 20,000 in the office, but not one here right now today. That's how prepared we were for stickers. Yes, we have stickers. Everybody who's made a donation is going to get one in the mail with your membership card if you joined up. We can't thank you enough for that. So yes, you're going to get a membership card and a sticker. So don't worry about that. Kip Poling says, I have one more question. He said, definitely have an issue with mental health background checks. How do we handle that without giving up our rights? Kip, I guess I'm not sure if you're referring to universal background checks or what that means. We oppose any and all government-mandated background check because all it does is put gun owners in a centralized government database and does nothing to stop criminals. All the mass shootings in this country, all the big ones you hear about in the news over the last 10 years, in almost every single case, the shooter passed a background check and then went on to carry out a mass tragedy. And so we know it doesn't. We know it doesn't stop crime. What it does do is centralize the names of every gun owner in this country. And if you're in Missouri, which I think you are, Kip, then you'll know firsthand, because under the previous, actually it's 2 governors ago now, Governor Nixon's administration, the entire CCW database in Missouri was given over not once but twice to the Obama DOJ under the guise of a criminal investigation. And so we know what happens.
Were they all under investigation?
They're all under investigation. And so they had a suspect and he had a permit. And so they needed the entire 173,000 gun owners given over twice. So we are opposed to a mandated government background check. They don't work. It's an infringement. And it's just not, we don't want to have the government having large numbers of gun owners' names in their database, because history is very clear what happens when we get in that kind of a situation.
I know this is a fictional movie, but I'm sure a lot of you have seen it.
I know where you're going.
The movie Red Dawn.
That's real life, man.
Has anybody seen the movie Red Dawn? If you have, give us a big thumbs up right now. But
the old one.
Yeah, the old one. But in one of those scenes, right after who is it who parachutes in?
Russians.
Is it the Russians?
The
They're all
Russians.
speaking Spanish.
Russians.
I forget.
The Russians.
Anyway, one of the first things that
one.
they do is they order somebody to go pull the 4473 forms from the local firearms dealers. I mean, how hard is it for the ATF? We've seen all these stories over the years. Back in 2010 already, where the ATF is taking all of the open books or whatever they call them from the gun dealers after a gun dealer goes out of business, and they upload the entirety of it into the National Suspect Gun Database. They're making databases of this stuff, and they have been for a very long time.
Can I whack a troll?
Yeah, whack a troll. Well,
I'm gonna hit you, Steven.
I was just going to go on Steven again. Go ahead.
Well, okay.
How are you finding them?
So, Steven, I watch a few pages. I know a few things. That's what I do. I drink and I know things. Stephen Turner. Stephen Turner says, "How much income do you guys derive from?" He says ACA. I assume he means the
Obamacare.
The Affordable Care Act.
The Affordable Care Act. Yeah, we work for Obama. How much income do you guys derive from the American Firearms Coalition? What percent of the American Stop saying ACA, dude. Seriously, you're not even listening hard enough to find out what the name of the organization is. What percentage of the American Firearms Coalition dues go to support pro-Second Amendment candidates? So basically, you're in love with Wayne LaPierre. That's clear. I mean, just totally infatuated.
No, he's in love with Chris Cox.
Chris Cox.
I think he's in love with Chris Cox.
Okay, so we know that Wayne is making at least $6 million a year. If I was making $5 million, would that be okay with you? You know, does that work? Maybe $4 million, $3 million. Chris, how much are you getting paid from the American Firearms Coalition?
Not one penny.
Is anybody in the room getting paid to be here?
Not one penny.
No, not a penny. Well, not a penny.
And to be clear, I'm not being coy about this. I don't get paid anything. Not $5, not anything.
Hell, we all pooled our own money
to
get this thing off the ground.
Yeah, what the hell did you do?
Because we were sick and tired of seeing all these gun owners across the country saying, "Oh my gosh, what do we do? We're being screwed."
Yeah.
And so we pooled our cash together to begin an initial attempt to get this thing off the ground, and now a couple thousand Americans, patriots, have come alongside of us and given us $5, $10, $50 or more, because they also have the same burden for freedom. What the hell is wrong with you, man? Do you not have any kids? Do you not have any grandkids? If you don't, that says something about you, by the way.
Kidding.
But do you have no concern about the next generation?
Shame
I
on
have
you.
6 kids. He has 2 kids. He has 6 kids. Seven, whatever. I lose track. He's got 4 kids. You think we're joking here? Do you want to live in a country where the Republicans, where the NRA gave you red flag gun seizures? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, and the fact that you sit here and say how much money is being given to pro-Second Amendment candidates just goes to show all you've done is swallow the NRA pill hook, line, and sinker. Look, we don't need to be sinking money into worthless candidates. I mean, how about the NRA? They give money to pro-gun candidates all the time.
That's why I told
this
school.
Like Harry Reid.
Marco Rubio.
Like Harry Reid.
Well, they gave
Harry
him an
Reid.
endorsement. Not money. They gave him an endorsement.
I thought they gave him $5,000.
Oh, maybe I was wrong.
And he was in
How about that? Maybe that was your money,
NRA magazine.
Steven. Did you give $5,000 to the NRA to give to Harry Reid? Because that's what they did. That's what they did. See, what we do is far more important. We beat on anti-gun lawmakers and we whip these people into line so that they don't stab us in the back. Only the greatest of fools in gun rights politics goes around just passing out millions of dollars in PAC money to lawmakers who stab us in the back over and over and over and over and over again. In fact, if I had taken the time to go look into the 68 NRA A-rated Republicans who voted for all this gun control in Florida, I wonder how many of them got a little more PAC money in 2018 after passing red flags and raising the age limit. It's a joke. It's a joke. You're a joke. You swallowed a bad pill, my friend. Wake up and smell the light here. This is bad news. Red flags is bad news. This betrayal is bad news. And if we don't wake up, we're going to lose so much so quickly. You're going to look around and go, wait a minute. I thought we had this right and that right. I thought we could carry. I thought we could own these. And they're going to be gone. They're going to be gone. Because you sat there and went, the NRA will save me. The NRA will save me. And Wayne LaPierre sat there going, stuffing Benjamins in his pocket as fast as he possibly could. Wake up. Wake up.
That was a screed right there.
Well, it's just the truth is just slapping you across the face, man.
Yeah,
and another guy in here, he's got the I am the NRA banner across his profile picture saying, this is counterproductive. You know what we think is counterproductive? When the SWAT team comes, kicks your door in, and seizes your firearms in the middle of the night because somebody's great-great auntie who wanted Hillary Clinton to win called him in and said he's dangerous. We think that's a little bit counterproductive to American freedom. Wake up. Rant over.
Look, I just pulled up this picture of Wayne LaPierre and Chris Cox with anti-gun United States Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid. I'm going to post it here in just a second on AFC. Y'all can go in there and see it, guys. But, I mean, would you have ever known this? Had anybody, had groups like ours told you about it? We've got video of Wayne LaPierre in Nevada saying Harry Reid is fighting for the Second Amendment back in Washington, D.C. This guy has been in bed politically. I don't know who he's been in bed with, but politically with a lot of bad hombres, and we are here to expose that and let y'all know this is not a new thing, okay? We've been in this for 15 years, 10, 15 years, just, but combined here probably 40 or 50 years, but we have been watching these guys, and we are sick of it, and I'm going to post that picture in here right now, y'all, so you can see it. A lot of y'all probably don't even know who Harry Reid is, but he's one of the nastiest anti-gun senators of all time. He got through anti-gun Supreme Court justices, Elena Kagan, Sonia Sotomayor, all these communist, bastards, as we can call them. I don't have any qualms about saying that.
Yeah.
And there they are, Wayne and Chris Cox with Harry Reid. Okay? It's pretty outrageous. So I'm going to post that in here right now, guys. But anybody have the new members pulled up here? Let's read some of the new members off.
I can do it. I missed it last time. Daggone, I like doing that.
Go for it.
Somebody says, I want to know what we get as membership benefits if we join your organization. Do you have a magazine? And if the prices for joining were a little bit high, unless we're getting a lot for joining. And I don't think that Jim is trying to be.
Yeah.
He's not Steven. He's not Steven. So we'll give him that.
Yeah.
I wrote him back just now. I sent him a private message. I said, Jim, we're fighting for our basic right to defend ourselves. We're trying to stop red flag gun seizures. Your money is going to that fight. We'll deal with swag and stuff later on. Because look, no. The answer to your question is no. We're not going to spend a couple dollars of your money every other week producing a high gloss, 40-page magazine filled full of lies and bullshit. We're not going to do it. We all know the only part we like to read anyway is the Armed Citizen. And heck, I can read that online. I can find Armed Citizen stories on Google every 15 seconds. All this is a gigantic marketing program which only raises more money. So no, Jim, we're not going to waste your money right now on stuff like that. We will fill you with information by email, by direct mail, by social media, by videos like this. We will fight to expose the NRA, as you're seeing right now, and we'll see much more tomorrow. We will fight to stop federal gun control. We will fight to expose Republicans like Marco Rubio, like Lindsey Graham, who are pushing for gun control, but no 45-page, high-gloss, full-spread magazine. Not going to happen. Not going to happen right now.
Travis says, membership is cheaper than a box of ammo. I need no swag.
Thank you. That's...
What a stud.
And here's the other point I like to make.
This is the same guy who just burned all of his NRA memorabilia. Because again, he realized... He knows, Travis knows, that freedom is worth more than a 50-cent Chinese ball cap that says NRA on it. It's as simple as that.
That's what we've said many times. And it seems counterproductive perhaps, but trust me, it's not. We're an exclusionary organization. We're an exclusive organization.
We'll boot your ass out in New York.
We have no problem not taking your money if you're that kind of fair weather friend. And right now, I'm not preaching to any one person. I'm preaching generally. If you're a fair weather friend, if you want to give $35 to get $33 worth of swag, if you need to have your fancy tactical, flashlight, to join up, if you need to have all these incentives besides the liberty and the freedom that your forefathers gave you and that you are debt and honor bound to give to your kids and grandkids, if that's not enough, go to the NRA convention and give Wayne 35 more bucks. He'll probably give you a bag. He'll give you a bag, a shirt, hell, maybe a back massage. I don't know. But we're not here.
That's on the top floor of the JW Marriott tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tango Lounge, by the way.
Tango Lounge.
That's what it's
nice
called.
big rainbow flag over
Butch,
there.
these guys are great. Butch says, and Butch is a life member of Minnesota Gun Rights, and he says he's going to be a life member of AFC. I'm holding you to it. He says, don't put my money to a magazine, a plaque, not a freaking material thing. I just want my rights secured. Effing magazine? What an idiot. Robert says, I don't want things such as magazines unless they're for my gun. I just want my constitutional rights fought for tooth and nail.
Jim responds, I thought I was nice to Jim. Didn't you guys?
I thought so.
I thought I went above and beyond. I'm getting a nod from the back of the corner of the room there. And now my stupid computer's locked up. And he said, here we go. Jim says, well, at the prices, you just toss
Give her
it,
toss, yeah. At
the prices you're asking, no thank you. There's plenty of organizations for me to give my money to. Goodbye, bro. Goodbye. Actually, it's not goodbye. You were never in, so you can't be kicked out because you were never in. So Jim Marking, I said, go for it, buddy. Goodbye.
Drop a band hammer on it.
He's sending us PMs on the backside of the American Firearms.
You can still drop a band hammer.
So I mean, go for it. If fighting for freedom is not enough,
get out of here.
Goodbye. We don't need you.
You think General Washington cared about the losers who didn't want to join his army or who sat there and tried to bite at his heels all the time? He didn't have time.
Yeah.
He didn't have time. And especially if you're a loyalist, it's the tree for thee.
I feel real bad right now because I was knocking hard on Landon Veith about an hour ago. I thought he was that guy who was coming out. He was being sarcastic. And Landon just joined up out of Green, Iowa as a member of he joined up with Iowa gun owners, and we're very happy to have you in the fight in Iowa, Landon. Appreciate that very much. So my apologies yet again. And your stuff will come out in the mail here pretty soon. We had a recent membership here, a generous one from Barry in Griffin, Georgia. Just joined the American Firearms Coalition. We got Chad and Erhard. I don't know.
Erhard?
Minnesota.
Dale Earnhardt.
Something like that.
Earnhardt, go with that.
It's called Dale, Minnesota.
Chad in Minnesota. We've got Joy in Dallas, Georgia. Made a very generous donations now at joinafc.org. These are all new memberships. We've got, I can't even pronounce that, John in Something Springs, Florida. I believe he made a membership joined up last week as well. And thank you.
How about the dude at the top?
Because I couldn't pronounce his name last time either. Bob Wharf, my good friend Bob Wharf, just joined up. from Evanston, Wyoming. Bob Wharf, appreciate
There you
that,
go.
buddy. Good to see you involved in this fight. So, guys, wherever you're watching from tonight, we need you to be involved in this fight. And the thing is that I know a bunch of these names. I mean, I know Butch Meyer. I know Bob Wharf. I know a lot of these people. And, you know, it's these are the people we want.
Yeah.
These are the
best.
folks
They're the
that we
best.
want. We want
Yeah.
people who we know their sense of freedom is not as pale as an Iowa's farmer tan,
me?
you know, in March. You know, I mean, we want guys who want to throw down and fight. And if that's what you guys want to do, if that's who you are, we just again humbly ask you guys to be involved in this fight. Mike, who was the first member of the organization to get a T-shirt, he came to our Iowa office over the weekend, knocked on the door. He came inside because he showed up. He got a shirt. What can I say?
Nice.
He says George Washington knocked those people in the field right the hell out who didn't want to be involved and didn't want to join.
That's right.
So
That's exactly
that's,
right.
That's what we're talking about here. You know, so that's who we're talking about. That's who we want to fight with. That's who we want to fight for.
And that's what's happening with the gun rights movement nationwide. We talk to hundreds and hundreds of thousands of gun owners because, again, we're all part of the American Firearms Coalition. But before this and during, right now, we run statewide organizations in a lot of these states we've talked about. Some of you don't know that. Many, maybe most of you do. But we talk to hundreds of thousands of gun owners. And gun owners nationwide, are waking up to this fact. They're sick and tired of being betrayed. They're sick and tired of watching their rights get flushed down the toilet. They demand something. You deserve something so much better than you've been getting for the last how many years from the NRA. And that is why the AFC is exploding. It's just massive, massive growth. It's spreading all over the country as people are joining. Our members are spreading this far and wide. And I get daily messages. I had a guy message me 20 minutes before we started here. He said, I'm a life member of the NRA, and even though I can't get my money back, I called them and I canceled my life membership, even though I can't take it back because I don't want my name on their roster. I don't want my name associated with an organization that'll sell me out. I won't see a penny of my money back, but that's not what this is about for me. I don't want my name associated with an organization that would sell America down the river. And the American Firearms Coalition, we are the polar opposite. We're the absolute opposite of that. And as the NRA dies, and they're going the way of the dodo, there's only a few dodos left in a lot of ways. As they go, the American Firearms Coalition is growing in massive numbers because gun owners realize, gun owners know, they tell us all the time, that if we don't stand and fight, if we don't hold this line right now, we will have no Second Amendment rights left if the NRA is successful in their push for red flag gun seizures. And that's why we're all here. Like I said, Aaron's got 6 kids. I've got 2. Chris has 7. How many have Patrick? 4? You know, I think my wife was pretty sad to see me go. She said, boy, honey, she goes, darling, I wish you didn't have to leave. The boys were crying. I got a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. They were crying. They didn't want to see Daddy go for a few days. But that's what we're here for. That's why we're here in Indianapolis, hundreds of miles away from our families, to fight for gun owners, to fight for you, to fight for the Second Amendment, because we will never compromise. We will never sell you down the river, and our gun rights are worth the sacrifice. They're worth the sacrifice. So if you agree, join us. Go to joinafc.org. Get on board. You'll never wake up and go, boy, I wonder why AFC signed off on that gun control bill. I wonder why those guys gave an endorsement to that anti-gun legislator. Why did they? It'll never happen. It'll never, ever, ever happen. It won't ever happen. And if you like that, if you appreciate that, if that's the kind of person you are, join us, because we need you on our side. Not these people going, where's my 50-cent ball cap? Where's all my swag? No, we need fighters, patriots, and people who are ready to rock and roll in defense of their freedom. So get on board. JoinAFC.org. Join AFC.
Somebody from
Love it.
Waterloo, Iowa just joined.
That's right, man.
Waterloo is in the house.
I can't get any better of a rap than Ben did right now, and I know that we
got a lot of stuff to do.
We got to be
tonight.
up early tomorrow morning, and we have a lot of things to do tonight for prep. So I think that from all of us down here right now, guys, we're ready to sign off for the night. It's going to be wild and woolly tomorrow. I know it's a work day for everybody, but we're going to be all over social media live tomorrow. You want to make sure and check this out, starting early Eastern time, starting earlier. Even still, other parts of the country, but be watching our social media feeds. If you're getting our emails, be watching your inbox. We're going to have some crazy stuff coming out by email tomorrow for you guys to check out. So I think on behalf of
again,
most of us,
just in case I don't get a chance to talk to you again between now and then, if Wayne LaPierre gets on the stage, somebody start the chant. Stop red flags. I guarantee you the first person who does that is going to start a huge thing. And that's exactly what we want. We want them to be forced to deal with the elephant in the room that they say is not sitting in the room. Yeah. The one that gun owners are so pissed off about.
Trump needs to hear it. Trump needs to hear it.
Not just during Wayne's speech. Do it during Trump's speech. During one of those pregnant pauses. We've all been to a Trump rally before. The opportunities arise. Somebody stand up for America. Stand up for your kids and just belt it out. Make our founding fathers proud.
Do it.
That's all I've got for tonight. We've got a lot to do.
All right, guys.
Anything else?
Well, let's do a last good rundown, guys, of the new members. We've got Robert, the guy from Waterloo, Iowa. Robert, appreciate it. What's he? Woodworker. Okay, cool. Tristram, my man, I believe that is from Georgia, Guyton, Georgia. Thank you, Tristram. And they just keep pouring in, guys. Absolutely pouring in. We want to thank all of y'all for your support. JoinAFC.org. If you don't know anything about us, you can check all over social media page that we have up there, guys. You can also go to AmericanFirearmsCoalition.org. Right now, as we speak, I am posting an image, and I have, of Wayne LaPierre and Chris Coxix over here standing with anti-gun United States Senator Harry Reid, who at the time, or soon to be at the time, was the Senate Majority Leader. You remember Harry Reid? After the NRA gave him $5,000 of their membership dues, after they gave him $5,000, he proceeded to ram through Barack Obama's Supreme Court justices, anti-gun wacko liberals, Sonia Sotomayor and Elena Kagan, and put them on the United States Supreme Court. That image is now up. I want y'all to share that far and wide if you can. I know it's late, guys. I know people got to go to bed. But if you have a chance and you can afford to do so, whatever you can afford, if you can chip in $5, we'd love to have you on board, guys. But we'd also love to have you on board as a member of the American Firearms Coalition. JoinAFC.org. JoinAFC.org. A lot of y'all are pouring in right now, guys. So for myself, what'd you say, Stuart?
Petitions.
Oh, petitions. StopRedFlags.com. VetoRedFlags.com. Sign your petition to the President of the United States. StopRedFlags.com. Let's make tomorrow a big day, guys. The President is going to be here. The Vice President is going to be here. There has to be dissension within the ranks on this red flag thing in order for us to stop this from becoming the law of the United States of America. We are trying to kill this bill in whatever bill form it takes, and we are doing everything that we can possibly do. So we love y'all. Thank you all for your support. I'm Patrick Parsons with Georgia Gun Owners from Kennesaw, Georgia. We're here in Indianapolis. Anyone else?
We're all from Indianapolis tonight.
We're all from Indianapolis. If anybody wants to admit that, anyways. Aaron might, but I don't know about anybody else.
I like Indiana. What can I say? Okay. What can I say? It's the heartland.
All right.
Kill it, man. We're done.
All right. See you guys later. Talk to you tomorrow. Take care.